Hey everyone, Rob here. Today's video is sort of a bit of a follow-up on the previous video I posted, the St. Patrick's Day shave video I posted, where you can see I'm wearing the nice green St. Patty's Day shirt. Anyhow, I talked about non-folding commissary style shavettes in that video. And I also mentioned a certain line of software product, the Hendrix Classics and Company system. I talked briefly about it. I actually used the balm as a post-shave product during that video. But I thought I'd do a full shave here and sort of explain that system to you. So razor we have here is a Univinlions KureNai style razor. This razor is inspired by the Kai Captain, but it takes half double-edged blades. Soap we'll be using is the Hendrix Classics and Company shave soap. And we'll be finishing with the shave balm that we used in the last one. But you'll see this third bottle here. This is actually a scent oil. It's hard to get focused here, but the scent is called Havana Breeze. It's a sweet tobacco scent. It's actually been renamed to Havana Breeze Julio's Reserve after Julio Giuliani, who a big member of the wet shave community who passed away several months ago. But anyhow, the big thing I wanted to point out is this is a system. This soap is actually unscented. So is the balm. And I'll actually be adding the scent myself using this little dropper bottle, which I'll demonstrate shortly. But basically, I'm also using a brush here that's also sold by HC&C, although it's not produced by Pete Hendrix. It's sold on his site. It's a synthetic brush. It seems to work really well with these products. That's why I'm sort of featuring it. But basically what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a little bit of water into this tub here. Let me open this up. Doing that off camera. I'm gonna just put a little water in this tub here, let it bloom for about 30 seconds to a minute, dump out the excess water. I'll have my brush wetted, not sopping wet, but wet enough, and then I'm just gonna swirl it in the tub and load that brush for, in my experience, like 10 seconds seems to be more than enough. And then we'll add the scent oil. So let me get that started off camera. We'll see you in a bit. So we've got our brush loaded here and face wet, and oops, missed a step. We talked about the scent oil. So the way we do this here is I'm going to unscrew this little bottle, little dropper bottle. I'm going to bring in some oil into the little glass vial in there. I've got a small little mug. It's a smooth surface, a stainless steel thing. That's usually my travel sort of shave bowl / mug. I'm just going to drop 2 drops of that oil into that bowl, and you can kind of barely see them in there. I'm not sure with the reflection, but I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to swirl the brush around. Not trying to build lather at this point. I'm just trying to soak that oil into this soapy brush here, which I've successfully done. Now I'm going to go ahead and face lather. And that 2 drops for most of the scent oils is perfectly adequate for my taste. If you like it a little lighter, a little more subtle, you go with 1 drop. If you want a really strongly scented soap, add a 1/3. You do have to be careful with some of the oils. They may give your skin some sort of sensitivity. So with this system, I recommend starting small and then bringing the scent dosage up incrementally to make sure you don't have any issues like that. But most of the scent oils, 2 drops is perfect. Some of them are a little stronger than others, and I could probably get away with 1. Note about this particular soap, There is a new base. I believe he calls it the Top Shelf or Top Tier base, Pete Hendrix. This is the Legacy soap. I'm not sure if it's going to remain in existence after the Top Shelf goes into full production, but this Legacy soap here is probably the easiest soap in terms of latherability. It just takes no special skill or special finicky amount of water or way of adding the water. You can bull lather it, you can face lather it, and it just erupts into a nice thick lather. Okay, this is how I like my lather, as I mentioned in my last video. That's what most people would consider underhydrated. This razor, as I mentioned before, is inspired by the Kai Captain, which is an artist club blade type of Shavette, but it is made to accept half DE blades. I don't normally shave when I'm kind of in a hurry with a Shavette or straight razor, but as I mentioned about this razor in my previous video, excuse the water noise there, it's very forgiving. Well, I certainly don't want to rush it along too much. I'm a lot more willing to do a fast track shave with a razor like this. Performance on this soap is excellent, and that scent is just delightful. It's Havana Breeze. It's a sweet sort of green tobacco scent. Okay, let's rinse up and go for a second pass here. I have tried, was provided a sample of the top tier, top shelf base from Pete Hendrix, which is now available on his website in a limited number of scented soaps, but also in the unscented version. This Legacy soap I'm using today is still available on the site. The top tier, the top shelf stuff is excellent. Unfortunately, being provided in the sample container, I really couldn't do my brush loading face lathering experiment with it to compare it to the Legacy base. But bowl lathering, and I'm not a big bowl latherer, it was very easy to build up a lather there. So I don't think it is sacrificing any of the latherability of the Legacy soap. I only did a couple comparison shaves with it, and it is excellent. The one characteristic that most people seem to speak very highly of on that soap is the cushion. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm probably not very good at gauging this cushion effect that most people speak of. So I'll be honest and say that I did not see any sort of huge improvement from the Legacy to the new. But the new Top Shelf, it's my understanding, it uses less palm-derived products. Doesn't completely get them out of there, which is very difficult if you're going to have a soap that lathers easily without some type of stearic acid, which is generally derived from palm. But there is a reduction, and he was able to replace some of the ingredients with like vegetable butters and things of that nature. And I do think excuse me. Shaving isn't always conducive to speaking. I do think there was a little bit of an improvement I noticed with post-shave on it. Cost of the soap for a 5-ounce tub that I'm using today is $15. The top tier, top shelf, I think is also 5 ounces. That's going to go for $21. So it's a few bucks more. But it's still a pretty good unit cost for 5 ounces of soap. Most people seem to speak very highly of this added cushion effect that this top tier soap has. I've heard people say that they can't even really feel the blade on their face. I can't really speak to that. But for something that is that noticeable, definitely an extra $6 for a tub of soap seems very reasonable to me. Okay. A little bit on the neck here. Touch up my sideburns like I always do. Back to a little commentary on this particular razor. I didn't mention what blade I'm using. I pointed out in my last video that while it is a very ergonomic and forgiving design for a Shavette, with a very harsh blade, it still can be dangerous. And for me, the end-all be-all of blades for a Shavette, the one that a Shavette that takes DE blades or half DE blades, the end-all be-all is the GSB, the Gillette Silver Blue. But what I'm using here today is a blade that came with the razor. Came with a 10-pack of them. Let's see, it was maybe between $10 or $11 for this razor. And it came with a 10-pack of these Chinese blades called Cloud Super Stainless. And I've used these Cloud blades in this razor several times, including today's shave. And for a less expensive Chinese-made brand, it really is smooth and forgiving. I'm not going to put it up against the GSB, but it's for use in a Shavette, it is a considerable amount better than a lot of blades that I've tried. Okay, so our shave's done. We're rinsed off. We're dried up. Do what I did in the last shave here. I'm going to take a little scoop, a little less this time because I overloaded it last time. You don't need too much of this stuff. I'm going to put the balm in the palm of my hand for my little scooper spatula. And then I'm going to take my scent oil. I was using a sample bottle last time, so I couldn't really demonstrate how the real thing works. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go 2 drips. Swirl it around here, get it mixed in with the balm, and then just a very, very thin, like a skim coat, if you want to call it that, on all the areas where I shaved. And I've got a good whiff of this Havana Breeze. It's lovely, feels great. The balm, as I said, for me personally, doesn't give me any instant soothing or cooling feeling or anything like that. The main advantage of it is really felt hours later when your skin is really, really healed after that BBS shave. And yeah, I'm very impressed with the balm as a post-shave product. The scent oil is lovely. I do want to just emphasize, I mentioned about putting too much with the soap. It's even more important when you mix it with the balm after shave, because it's a lot more concentrated rather than getting diluted by that water and that soap. You just have a little dollop of balm and a couple drops of the oil. So I would start with 1 drop with the oil and then go from there. Anyhow, that's all I have today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.